Hello there fellow NPCs, I am Scythe and today we're getting back into Chasing Sunset. We have just been out with Lisa on a private dinner. It became private because George had to cancel, things like that. And so if we had played a different kind of route, we would end up doing the nasties with her here at the wet spot or after, most likely. But we are staying loyal to Jay, so we'll see how this all turns out. And also, I have entered episode 8, which is the last episode so far. There's going to be a total of 10, is my understanding. And yeah, so once I'm done with this game, I'm considering playing Artemis, because it's the third game in this collaborative universe. Well, it's not collaborative, but in this universe anyway. So if you want to see me play that, let me know. And if you have any suggestions for other game that I should be playing instead, let me know as well. I already have a list on my drive, on my Google Drive, of a bunch of games that I'm going to play and that you want me to play. So we'll see how long it takes for me to finish the Atlas. But for now, let's go. The wet spot, Tunaloo Beach, several minutes later. Being a weeknight, you find the club less packed than usual and finding seats easy. If you want to get your dance on, I'll get the drinks. Are you allowed to put an actual American Express in the game? Isn't that kind of like copyrighted and shit? And also, her name is Lisa Hendricks. Lisa hands you her credit card and eyes you thoughtfully. I'll have a vodka tonic with lime. Alright then, be right back. Alright then, that's the Uber driver. Arriving at the bar, an entirely expected familiar face greets you. Well, we have an island celebrity tonight. Kaili, that's a name. It's a difficult name. Hey, Kaili. Should you even be clubbing after? Kaili looks at your abdominal area meaningfully. I'm just having a couple of drinks. Here, I'd like to open a tab. Let me rephrase. Are you in any condition to clap those cheeks that just walked in with you? She's my boss. Sort of. It's complicated. All I know is every time I see you, you're pulling even more top shelf ass. Ooh, and I never really had a chance, did I? You definitely did, Kaili. The timing just never quite lined up for us. Look at you pulling my pride out of the fire. So, what are you and your boss drinking tonight? Bedford Reserve, neat. And a vodka tonic for the lady. First runs on me tonight. I'll bring him out to you. And Haiole. For what it's worth, I'm really glad you pulled through. Haiole. It's difficult to say some words sometimes. Thanks, Kaili. Finding Lisa nearby, you're somewhat surprised to find she hasn't hit the dance floor yet. Change your mind? No, just thinking. Tell Lisa about your hospital visitor. Ooh. Oh, we gotta tell her, but I wish we didn't have to tell her now. But at the same time, keep it to yourself. Make it sound like we're not gonna tell her later on as well. And I also got the feeling that whenever you're doing a choice in this game, it's not really that long lasting. It's you need to do it now and it will have a response very quickly. Some things will obviously have a longer response time, but a lot of the things you choose to do will have a short response time. So I need to tell now so she can fix it quickly, because otherwise it's not going to get fixed. That's my understanding of the game. I better loop her in. We're gonna need to come up with a plan. Hey, I need to tell you about something that's been bothering me. Lisa snaps out of her introspection and gives you her full attention. Oh, what's on your mind, Kurt? When I was in the hospital, I had a visitor from the consulate. While her expression reveals nothing, you think you see something harden in her eyes. Let me guess. He had questions about certain cancelled patterns after Sophie's little reveal. Yeah, he wants them resubmitted. Offered some carrots and lots of steak. Fucking politicians. Always looking for an angle. You better start with a steak. You said I'd have trouble with the Tunalu police over the yacht thing if we balked. Lisa chuckles ironically. Well, that's only one way to solve the inheritance issue. Really, Lisa? That's so fucked up! And what's the carrots? The Tunalu PD issue goes away, and he hinted that maybe the Pricer lawsuit does too. Oh, I did miss that. But I guess that makes sense. Did you happen to get a name? Brian Ferguson. Looked like every government bottom feeder ever. Fat and balding. As Lisa ponders what you've told her, the music segues into a slower song. This could solve a lot of problems. Sounds like his patron is cutting Pricer loose. Open kimono? What? Tell Lisa about your attempted blackmail by Ferguson. I mean, yeah. Why is it called? Why is that a thing? Is that a saying? Open kimono? Never heard of that. Maybe it's the song. I doubt it's called the open kimono, but maybe. Can't seriously be considering this. Lisa only smirks mischievously at you in response. Come dance with me. Without waiting for your answer, she stands up abruptly and pulls you to your feet. Oh. Nope, this is happening. But the odds of reopening that wound go way down if you just go with it, Kurt. A moment later, you're on the small dance floor across from the statuesque brunette. I'm not gonna break, Kurt. Put your hands on me. You're about to make a snarky comment when you notice a familiar face across the room. You pull Lisa firmly against you and begin shuffling to rotate him into Lisa's line of sight. Lisa's face rests against yours, and you can feel her warm breath on your ear. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's the guy, isn't it? Yeah, God, it looks like such a chode. Just keep dancing that like you didn't see him. In close quarters, Lisa's warmth and scent create an allure you're unprepared for. You think you overheard us? With the music on? I doubt it! Over this classic panty dropper? Not a chance. So that's what this dance was all about. No, I needed to feel something. And I won't if you don't start looking more into this. Alright then. Game on. Dude, don't just start waltzing! You gotta have the right song, and this is not the right song. You pull Lisa into you once again, eliciting a gasp. Well now, that's more like it. You separate slightly and look her in the eye. You never answer my question. No, I'd never consider his offer, but we will need to come up with a plan. Just not here. Fair enough. Then can I be bothered for one slow dance? Miss Hendricks? To nobody's surprise, Lisa's skill on the dance floor is on par with her business acumen. You use the subtle hip movements and a technique that looks stunning without showing you up. You turn her, and she expertly follows through, returning to face you with an approving smile. So you can dance. I'm not a mouth breather. Just don't ask me to sing. I did actually did take dancing classes a long time ago, but I had some conflicting feelings with one of the dance partners there, so I couldn't really continue it. But what was it? It's called bug in Swedish. I don't know what kind of dancing that is, but it's, yeah, whatever. I'll put up a video. Just don't ask me to sing. As the song winds down, Lisa rests her head contently on your shoulder. You're in no condition to dip me, so don't even think about it. It didn't even cross my mind until you mentioned it. And he's gone. So he is. And look, our drinks finally arrived. Lisa returns to the table with a predatory grace. You can't help but drink in her curves. There's definitely some sexual tension between us. That dance didn't help. Lisa takes a sip of her drink and gazes at you playfully over the rim. Kurt, stop brooding. We'll figure this out. Who's brooding? I came here to unwind, and whether you know it or not, so did you. Ask her about the phone call. Leave it alone. She wanted to unwind, she said, but at the same time you do kind of want a confidant. But we're also playing into Lisa's dating Lisa here. So. And we care about her. She's cool. She's awesome. She's apparently old enough to be my mom. Which is insane. She is nowhere near she does not look to be in her 40s. Because if we're 25 and she is at least 18 years older than us, then yeah, she would be 43. So yeah, but yeah, let's go about the phone call. About that, want to tell me how a phone call got you so bent out of shape? Really? It's just us two with more than a few drinks in, and that's your burning question. Fuck, you're right. So why didn't you rat Jay and I out after catching us in the shower? Lisa stares into her drink for a moment in contemplation. Well played. The answer to your first and second questions are kind of intertwined. One has literally nothing to do with the other. Lisa looks at you intently for a moment like she's trying to talk herself out of something. Tell you what, I'll answer the first one, and you can reconnect the dots on the second. Oh, but if you ever breathe a word of this, I will make you pay in ways you can't begin to comprehend. If it's that personal, I totally understand. We don't need to know each other that well. Lisa looks away and covers with a sad, ironic smile. True, but I'm not on the struggle bus right now, and something tells me you might take it off. I'll try my best. Lisa leans forward on the table and gazes at you intently. The call was from my cousin, Jason. Oh, no problems at home, I hope? No, and yes, my aunt is sick, and he's at home taking care of her. I see. She doesn't have much time left. Were you close? You should be there with your family now, not out here. Lisa sits up and her face hardens for a moment. No shit, Kurt. Hey, I'm trying to give you an out, not judge you. I know. Here's the deal. I want to be there for Auntie at the end, but I can't be in the same room with them. Why? What happened? I moved in with my aunt and uncle in first grade, and Jason and I became very close. I'm not seeing the problem here. Well, I do, because we know what kind of game this is. You had some kind of relation with your cousin here, didn't you? Eventually, very close, Kurt. Suddenly the light goes on for you, and you're not certain you managed to hide your shock. Wait, you two were... He was my first, probably my only love. If you can even call it that at 18. But after the Aunt Claire figured out what was going on, she sent him to a boarding school in Philly. Oh. Very strict, no electronic devices, only email closely monitored at the library computer. Oh, wow. I wrote to him every few days, but never got a response. When he finally came home from winter break, he wasn't the Jason I remembered. What was different? Well, he had a girlfriend now, and suddenly wanted nothing to do with me. Aunt Claire and Uncle Rob made a big show of seating us as far apart as possible during meals. Wow, harsh. They put cameras up in the hallway to make sure we didn't try to sneak any time together. So, were you ever able to get any closure? No. After winter break, I was so heartbroken I just stopped writing. I was bitter with Jason, but furious at my aunt and uncle. I graduated early, started college, and made a point of not returning home on breaks. Learn why Jay kept your secret with Jay. This is starting to feel uncomfortably familiar. Then, out of the blue 2 months ago, Jason calls me and says Claire is sick. Where's your uncle in all of this? Claire and Rob apparently divorced 6 years ago, and I had no idea. And that call tonight? My aunt has a few weeks left, tops. He begged me to come home and make things right. What kind of things are we making, and how are we making them right? Then why are you sitting here? We need to get you on a plane right the fuck now. Kurt, it's not that simple. No, it's not that simple, because I don't even know. The only way to clear things up, make things right, is if you admit that you were wrong, I guess. But at 18, first of all, you're allowed to do stupid shit. And we know where I stand on this, but you know best. I'll take your word for it, but if there's one thing I've learned, it's that there's no worse burden to carry than regret. I know that. I'm here if you decide you want that. I'm here if you decide you want that insight. Thanks, Kurt. Some fresh air will do you good. Let's get out of here. Lisa looks at you contemplatively for a moment. Before we go, there's one thing I wanted to tell you. Don't tell George I'll let the cat out of the bag, but you're both ready to lead Polygene. When was this decided? George had his mind made up after the boat incident. Oh, and you? My decision is somewhat more recent. Honestly, I still have reservations, but not because I don't think you're up to it. You're not the only one, but that's a conversation for another day. And Kurt, thanks for being awesome tonight. Well, I figured I'd owe you one since picking you up at the airport in the rolling casting couch. Rolling casting couch, okay. Yeah, you did. And wow, your little bartender friend pours like a boss. I got a bit of a buzz going. So now can I walk a lady home? I'd actually be a little salty if you didn't. Tapu Beach, one short walk later. You're about halfway home, enjoying the night breeze when Lisa begins fiddling with her heels. On one hand, the walk is nice, on the other, I really didn't dress for a boardwalk hike. There's a suspiciously conveniently placed bench over there. Let's chill for a bit. Is that the sus bench? Sus bench? Yeah, the sus bench that Mallory and Jay was sitting on? Yes, it is. Lisa gives you a graceful nod and sits with a relieved sigh. It's only a few more blocks. I mean, I could carry for you if push comes to shove. No, you cannot. Not unless you want your inner spewing out like a fucking firework. Okay, it's not that big. The wound is not that big, but you get my point. Please stitch, bitch. Like I couldn't just walk barefoot on the sandy. What's that? That's Amanda. And she has glowing shoes. And I am very afraid that she's walking around naked because she is looking for thrills. Following Lisa's gaze, you see what looks like a flashing light some distance away. Is that Morse code? LGP... Nope, I don't think so. LGPD. Whatever it is, it's getting closer. After your experience on the yacht, an unknown visitor sets your heart beating faster. On the off chance this is trouble, is it okay if I die laughing at you trying to run in heels? Absolutely not! I was right, but she's not naked. Before you can reply, a familiar figure steps out of the shadows and into view. Jesus, Amanda! What are you doing out here at this hour? Everyone else is safe and asleep. I noted your absence and began an investigation. An investigation? Type E. Health and welfare check for friends and family. Well, as you can see, there was nothing to worry about. You were being followed by a man I am unfamiliar with from the club. Was I now? Oh, Brian Ferguson, a consulate shadow. I followed him to Hotel Zhao. If he's a diplomat, he's not behaving like one. What are those on your feet? These are my croc lights, crafted specifically for nocturnal E-missions. Yeah, I'm never calling them that. You do realize they give away your position immediately, right? Of course. I only activate them when I wish to be seen. Tell me again why you were stalking us. Mallory, Jay, and Kurt were nearly killed because I was not more vigilant. Man, you can't think like that. Mallory is only alive because you spoke up. Nevertheless, I will not allow it to happen again. I promise. Everyone is being very careful now. I also saw an opportunity to surreptitiously observe courtship in real time. Courtship? Amanda, it simply reinforces to me that traditional courtship is an outdated method of attracting a mate. Well, this is awkward as fuck. I am not about to take dating advice from a girl wearing croc lights. My intention was not to cock block. Cock block? Lisa stands up indignantly and glares at you. At me? I'm fine to walk now, Kurt. Are you coming? As you stand to follow, Amanda puts her hand on your arm. I will find out more about this. Brian Ferguson. Is she going to solve it before we even have to do anything? Because I do feel like that has been happening a few times recently. Yeah, we see a problem, and before we, the MC, the player, are allowed to do anything to it, someone else has already solved it. I think it's happened twice. Like, for example, that in the shadows, Doctor's, whatever her name was, already revealed to Jay that we are not siblings. Like, why would we not be there to get to know that? For example, small things. Nesbitt residence, Tikahawa Beach, well after midnight. As you approach Bianca's home, you are struck by how different it seems after dark. Well, this evening may not have gone as planned, but I can't say I didn't enjoy it. Well, look who's been practicing their sweet talk. The usual edge to her sarcasm seems oddly absent, and she brushes against you as you walk. So, no other compelling reasons to fly back earlier? Kurt Campbell, are you fishing to see if I have a boyfriend waiting for me? I assumed from our earlier conversation that you might be holding out. Lisa's laugh is musical. Love and sex are two very different things. I hear that a lot, but I find attachments have a way of crashing all parties eventually. I won't pretend that I haven't had my favorite toys, but they all eventually bore me. If you end up burying the hatchet with Jason, you'll have to let that wall down someday. I'll burn that bridge when I get to it. Well, here we are. Yep, here we are. She turns towards you as if to say goodnight, but the intent in her eyes suggests another plan. I don't suppose you want to talk me out of this sudden urge to throw caution to the wind? Yeah, of course this were going to happen, but no. Another day, another life, perhaps, but not in this life. You already know it's not a good idea, Lisa. My bags put you off. No! You're jaw-droppingly beautiful in the if the situation were any different. Jaw-droppingly, huh? She sounds almost shy and looks at you. What the fuck's that word? Coquettishly. Let's just say I'm absolutely certain I'm going to kick myself for this for a long time. I actually appreciate that you're firmly in control of your urges. It's sexy. Oh dude, I am not. I have been tricked and fooled, not by girls, but by myself so many times, only for it to crash and burn. But being away from all that for 10+ years, I hope I have gained some composure. I did have a really good time tonight. You know, I did too. Good night, boss. Jay, trust and love, +2. Good night, boss. Good night, Lisa. Nesbitt residence, Tikahawa Beach, the next morning. You look like fun to me. You look a little like somebody I know. I don't know that song, but this is the next day, so we will be cutting off here today. Just where are we going with all of this? Or rather, how much left do we have before my heart breaks and we cannot continue this game for quite some time? Thank you guys for watching, and thank you Joseph for donating directly to my Ko-fi page. I'll see you guys in the next one, and remember, just because you're not the main character, it does not mean you're not important. Goodbye everyone.